Hello everyone, welcome to Genshin Bag. Today we're rolling for Alhaitham. They just upped the cap on this. Look how much I have, 198. Boom. I probably just went to its next cap and then I have to wait like 3 more patches to level it up again. Okay. Woo! Look at all that stuff. You know what? I'm gonna wish right here. Alright, I have 153 wishes with a pity of 46. So this will be 56. There's also a new 4-star. Maybe we'll get her. Yay! I got her! Awesome. Skip. Nope. Okay. I'll just do a temple. 86. Whoa. Okay, yo. Oh my god! Yo! His splash art is gorgeous. Goodness. Wow. I won my 50-50 again. Let's go! Damn. I actually want to roll on the weapon banner because I will happily take any one of these weapons. Either of these two, like Alhaitham's weapon, cool. Xiao's weapon, cool. So, what's my pity? 5. 6, let's go! I've never read that portion. Oh, 26. $36. $46. Oh, it's early. Alright, okay. I'll take it. Oh! What? I just got double 5-star! God, this like not happened before. Holy crap. I ended up setting myself the guarantee so I can actually get this sword. And I don't think this opportunity's ever gonna come up. Maybe I should just do it. Making me use up all my primos. I want my guaranteed sword. There's it. There it is. Give me the sword. There it is. Guaranteed. Here. Okay. Boom. Constellation of Yao Yao. Cute. Alhaitham and his weapon. Let's go. And another Galavonia. What in the world? Okay, we're gonna do the Lancer Rite. As you can see, I've been doing the card game. Like, for the past week after summoning, I've been doing the card game now and having a lot of fun with that.
Paimon votes we go say hi to Xiangling first.
No, I guess we're saying hi to Zhongli first.
Young Lee?
Oh, why the pleasure is all mine, as is the surprise, surely. I had planned to take a walk to Qingse village and gather some nascent bamboo shoots, which are currently in season. A villager there once gave me a small sample, and they possessed a most excellent flavor. Lantern Rite is almost upon us, but besides the bamboo shoots, there are a few other items I have not yet procured from Director Hu's list. May I ask if you have already made arrangements for the days ahead?
Well, we were planning to use the opportunity to say hi to some of our friends, but before we were able to figure out a schedule, we ran into you.
Well then, might I invite you to imagine the sheer delight that is a soup cooked with the freshest nascent bamboo shoots in all
Yeah,
the
never had anything like it, buddy.
Ugh, let's go, Traveler. Paimon's taste buds can't take it anymore.
Okay. Which one? Oh, that one. This one? Decent. Decent.
They should be enough. Let's head back.
Help! Help!
Well, I don't think that man's voice came out of her. Is that? Oh, yeah.
Are you okay? Did any water go down the wrong pipe?
I think I'm okay now.
That was scary. Well, at least you're all right. All thanks to your savior here. Oh, a little girl? Greetings, everyone. My name is Yao Yao. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Whoa, she's so well-mannered. My name's Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
I'm Dvorak, a musician from Fontaine. I came through Stone Gate, intending to head towards Liyue Harbor, but then I became captivated by the beautiful scenery. And before long, I was completely lost. Just now, I was so mesmerized by the waterfall that I slipped and fell into the water. I'm one of the main organizers of the Iridescence Tour.
Iridescence Tour?
That's familiar.
The Iridescence Tour is one of the biggest music festivals in Fontaine. We're looking to expand, though. Our aim is to hold a festival in every nation.
Xinjiang was sad it got canceled last year.
At least, all the main organizers share this goal. Unfortunately, it's a long story, so I'll spare you the details. But anyway, so the main reason I'm traveling all around Tavad is to promote our music festivals.
Well, what are they? Just tell us already.
Let me see. Well, to explain it in full, I'd have to start with a story from my ancestors.
Oh, I love listening to stories. We want to hear it too.
Okay, then I'll start from the beginning. The story goes that my ancestor, who was also a traveler, once slipped and fell into a lake during his travels. As he was sinking and gasping for breath, he heard a wondrous tune in the air. They say it was the most beautiful, moving melody he had ever heard. Even in that life and death moment, the ethereal music seized his full attention and almost made him forget the fact that he was drowning. When he finally came to, he found that he had already been brought ashore. Not too far from him stood an unfamiliar woman with an almost divine aura. Once she saw that he was no longer in danger, she left without a word. My ancestor tried to run after her to give his thanks, but although a mere dozen paces separated them, no matter how quickly he gave chase, he drew no closer and remained a dozen paces behind. In the end, all he could do was to bow in thanks to the woman as he watched her walk away towards the rivers and mountains in the distance, before at last he turned around and made his way home. Once he returned to Fontaine, he began to learn an instrument so that he could spread his story far and wide, just like the bards. After generations of retelling, embellishing, and dramatizing, people have come to think of that lady as something like a fairy. The story's become something of a local legend in Fontaine. It's called The Lady Overlooking the Lake. People now say that if you go down to the lakeside and play an instrument, so long as you play a pleasing melody, you will hear a fairy lady who is hiding out of sight, playing along with you.
Wow.
Oh, what a nice legend.
Well, yes. As it stands now, it's become a touch too romantic and detached from reality. But I understand the original story and its historical grounding better than anyone else. I wanted to find out the truth of this tale. So I decided to retrace my ancestors' steps and search for that lady's modern-day descendants. Of course, there's no way of knowing where my ancestor fell into the lake all those years ago. I've spent many years on the road now, and I'm nowhere near as fit as I was in my youth. The wish that I've spent half my life chasing after has now become something of an obsession.
It's like... imagine if you saved the center of a lotus flower crisp, which is the best part, by the way. You wanted to eat it another day, but then suddenly, sploosh! It falls into the water, never
Wow.
to be seen again!
Tragic.
Paimon would definitely remember that for the rest of her life.
The rest of our life.
There's no need to feel sorry for me. I've made some progress over the years. For example, I've concluded that the story must have taken place in Liyue. I'd always known that Mondstadt is the city of song and freedom. But more recently, I heard that the Animal Archon returned to Mondstadt for a festival in the fall, and learned that he himself is a patron deity of music. So I prayed for the Animal Archon's guidance in the Mondstadt Cathedral, and as soon as I set foot back outside the front gate, I noticed a cluster of leaves being blown in the wind further and further west, towards Stone Gate. A friendly local told me that this meant the wind was guiding me in the direction of Liyue. So I followed their advice and made my way here.
Why don't I bring you all to Yujing Terrace to see Miss Ganyu?
Oh.
Hey everyone! Fancy meeting you all here. What a nice surprise.
Hello, Xinyan. Let me introduce some new friends. They are...
Traveler, Paimon, and Mr. Dvorak, right? I've known them all for quite a while.
When I was last here to advertise a Liyue stop for the Iridescence Tour, Xinyan was one of the few people willing to give me the time of day.
Well, feels like I've been chasing this Iridescence Tour bandwagon halfway around the world, but I keep getting stood up. What's going on, Mr. Dvorak?
I'm so sorry, Xinyan. We've had a string of terrible luck recently, and every time we've tried to put on a show, something or other has come up to stop our plans from materializing.
So, what brings you to Liyue Harbor at this time of year anyway? Thinking of putting on a music festival during the Lantern Rite celebrations?
A Lantern Rite Music Festival? Yes!
Oh, alright.
No, I'm actually here on personal business this time.
Oh, so no Lantern Rite Music Festival?
I mean, that's not just up to
Let's
me.
not guilt trip
Hosting a
him.
music festival takes a lot of funding and personnel. Moreover, I've never worked with the Liyue authorities before.
Wait, but we're going to meet the Liyue Qixing.
Oh my god, why are you guys pushing him so hard on this?
As for the performers, I can put you in touch with some local artists.
What's wrong? It's definitely an ambitious plan. If there's anything you didn't quite catch, Paimon's more than happy to go over it again.
It may be a little difficult to make this happen.
Oh?
Well, the Lantern Rite is the most important festival of the year. Our celebrations must not only be visually spectacular, but also appeal to the tastes of Liyue citizens from all walks of life. The Iridescence Tour is relatively unknown in Liyue. It's difficult to predict how a brand new show will be received. It would be quite risky for us to bet everything on this one music festival.
That's fair.
However, I will submit a proposal requesting to put the Iridescence Tour special performance as the final act of this year's festivities. Some live music will certainly add to the festive atmosphere on the night of the Lantern Rite. As for the venue, let's reserve a space at the docks.
Kaching and Ganyu arrived.
Greetings, traveler, Paimon, and
Kuching!
Mr. Dvorak. Call me Kuching. Ganyu has brought me up to speed on everything. I'll get straight to the point. The Qixing have approved Ganyu's proposal. Over the next few days, I will be working with Mr. Dvorak on behalf of the Qixing to facilitate the organization of this concert.
Yay! That's awesome!
Ooh.
Please, the Qixing have a duty to deal with matters such as these. We have merely moved things forward to the next step.
What about that fairy lady?
Oh, that. Well, that can wait for another time.
I wonder if this lady your ancestor met might have been an adeptus.
See, I thought the
Well,
same
to tell
thing.
you the truth, Mr. Dvorak, I am somewhat related to the Adepti myself. I am part human and part Qilin. The Qilin is an illuminated beast. I know how important your quest to get in touch with your roots must be to you. because I've been there myself before, trying to find out where I belonged.
Did you say the Adepti? And you're illuminated beast? Part Qilin? Are you telling me all the rumors of the Liyue Adepti are real? So it's not just artistic license?
Bet they're real. Trying to track them down is tough, though.
I think I understand the situation now. In that case, Ganyu, shall we divide the work between us?
Yes, that was also my thought.
Great. So Mr. Dvorak and I will concentrate on things here in the city to make sure the concert goes according to plan. In the meantime, Ganyu will reach out to our network and try to find the person he's looking for. How's your workload at the moment? Will you be able to make time?
I can probably get through everything in 2 days, as long as I don't sleep.
As long as you don't
Wait,
sleep.
what do you mean, as long as I don't sleep? Even for someone with illuminated beast blood in their veins, working for such an extended period without a break will take its toll on your health.
3 days.
All right, I can work with that.
If you have the time, would you join me for this search? You're well known to many.
Yeah,
of the
and
Adepti,
I'll
okay?
make it
Then
5
let's
times
meet back here
faster
in 3
somehow.
days.
Because I don't know, I just like summon people.
Baiwen, what is it?
Per Lady Ningguang's orders, I've been gathering intelligence outside of the city with the goal of uncovering and dispatching any trouble ahead of the festival. I am told that a strange melody was heard somewhere along the coast. I was wary of
the
investigating,
legend!
but I'm worried that if we don't act right away, we may miss the window of opportunity to take appropriate action.
I understand. In that case,
Wait, let us handle this one.
Yeah, Kuching, you're busy enough as it is. Leave it to us.
Why
With
did
the
we not
traveler,
catch on to what
thank
this
you.
is?
Will do.
What
And
the heck? Alright, where's the fairy? Where's the fairy
Paimon
lady?
said the strange tune was coming from around here, right? But Paimon doesn't hear anything.
I was just wondering who in their right mind would come out to a place like this.
You're not the fairy lady!
It's not you.
Yeon! How'd you sneak up on us like that?
You look pretty alive to me. Can't have spooked you that bad.
Know anything about the strange music?
Ah, you're here for that too? Saves me a bit of explaining. Come with me. I've already reconned the perimeter, so we should be safe.
The doors and the windows are all fine. The stuff by the door is in pretty good condition, though. This place is completely empty. How strange. It looks like it's been looted, except for the fact that there's no sign of a struggle. The bad guys could have sneaked in while the owner was gone, but
Seems you've done a pretty thorough inspection. So, any theories on what might have happened here?
Yeon, you didn't hide some of the evidence from us on purpose, did you?
Why would I make this more difficult for you?
Okay, well, Paimon gives up then. Paimon's got nothing.
What about you? Give up as well?
It's difficult to theorize. It must have been something to do with that melody.
Your instincts are pretty good. Let me share a folk story with you. A long time ago, there used to be a group of bandits in the Liyue countryside who would sound a horn every time they were about to raid a village. But it wasn't a rallying cry to rouse their fellow men. It was a disconcerting tune, meant to intimidate the weak and warn them of their impending doom. To escape with their lives, the villagers would abandon their homes and flee overnight, taking only their most valuable belongings with them. The bandits were eventually brought to justice, but the fear and trauma remained in the villagers' hearts. Whenever they heard that melody, they would feel like their lives were in danger once again, and flee immediately. The culprit of this crime exploited that very fear to get access to this house without having to force their way in.
Oh.
That's quite the story.
Here, look at this. These tracks are superficial, but they definitely didn't occur naturally. Something heavy was being dragged this way, meaning we're headed in the right direction.
There they are! Look! A treasure hoarder tent! Ugh, not the treasure hoarders again!
Come on, let's round them up.
Hey! Who are you?
The evidence is conclusive. Okay, confess and we'll go easy on you.
You kidding me? You think I'm scared of you?
Perhaps not, but you should be.
Whee!
Curses. Seems like you're not all talk after all. There's no going back now.
Boink.
Mercy! Have mercy!
Oh, it's a little late for that. I've come this far, I might as well finish the job.
I surrender! I surrender, please! I'll do whatever you say. Please have mercy.
Tell us everything.
I know I'm with the treasure hoarders and everything, but I don't really have any kind of experience with robbing people and whatnot. So I don't have the guts to break into somebody's house.
Wow, you're really going to complain to us about that?
No, not at all. I'm just telling it how it is.
Okay, continue.
I racked my brains trying to think of what I could do. And eventually, I remembered something from back when I was a kid. The bandits would blow their horn, and my grandma would grab us kids and run. I remember the tune, so I figured I'd try it for myself. I mean, just to see what would happen. At first, anyway, I seriously didn't expect that family to pack up and leave. But they did. And they just left all their stuff right there for the taking. It was completely wrong of me. I know that now. I'll return everything that I took. It's all still in perfect condition. It'll be like it was never gone.
Give you a chance, huh? Sounds to me like you'd rather strike some kind of a deal than spend Lantern Rite behind bars.
Yes? Yes?
You know how to bargain, I'll give you that. It's just a pity that you didn't confess at the first opportunity.
Ooh.
You'll have to take a walk with me. Once we've returned the goods,
Bye-bye! A Ningguang?
My greetings to both of you. Long time no see. I trust you saw this year's Mingxiao lantern at the docks when you arrived at the city.
They're so pretty!
It looked like a goose. Which Adeptus is it modeled on this time?
Sea Gazer. I believe you're familiar with the name. Legend holds that he was free-spirited and easygoing. People described him as a cheerful soul and a loyal friend.
Oh, okay.
On this marvelous lantern rite, we pray that the fallen heroes may be guided home. If the sound of music can flow like the rivers and streams into every corner of the land, perhaps the souls of those who have gone before us will hear the song of a new era. I wonder whether the melodies will be to their liking.
Oh, they're gonna love them. Paimon's sure of it.
Well, let's hope so. I heard that you'll be going on a search with Ganyu to find the descendants of a fairy lady from a Fontaine legend. I'm sure this quest to uncover the truth behind an ancient story will turn into a most charming tale. Do share it with me, won't you? I couldn't bear to miss out.
Ganyu, you're supposed to get sleep. We established it'd be 3 days so you get sleep. Why are you sleeping?
Greetings, Traveler and Paimon. What time is it?
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding off there. Didn't you sleep well last night?
It's like 8 a.m.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Let's discuss the matter at hand. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about the story Paimon told me. Perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Either way, if this part of the story is true, then the rescuer has to have been an adeptus. Cloud Retainer isn't the most musically gifted. If we set off now, we could head to Mount Outsung and ask her about it. You'll be able to confirm either way if it's her, and I can,
Just
I've
say you
been
want
in
to meet
Leo
your
Harbor
mom.
for
It's
so long
okay.
now. I can't believe it. Cloud Retainer is not here. I guess the next step is to check all the other Adepti abodes, one by one.
Uh-oh. Will it involve a lot more traveling?
Yes, it will involve a lot more traveling.
Got it! Paimon has a great idea!
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus that helped Dvorak's ancestor, right? We can't hear any music right now, but if she's really as nice as the story suggests, she'd definitely come to help anyone who was drowning, right?
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
I think that-
So, all we have to do is get the traveler to pretend to fall into the water, and the Adeptus will come to the rescue!
If you're so sure, why don't you try?
You know Sink like a rock. Just trust
But
Paimon.
I'm gonna hop in the pool. Oh my god, I can't swim. Ah!
Help! Someone's drowning.
Ah!
Only there was a
I'm not
hot
swimming.
water
I'm
this here to
drowning.
save us. Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
Paimon can't pick me up. Paimon's too small. Help me.
What is going on?
Oh, it was just Xiao.
How do you feel right now?
And shut up.
Shenhe, and the Conqueror of Demons.
Oh, this is awkward.
Why don't you say something? Okay, fine. Paimon will explain.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most likely a woman.
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know.
No way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna be.
Glad you're okay.
No, don't leave. You're
As far as I
leaving.
know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And one last thing. Your actions here caused others a great deal of worry. Do not repeat them again in the future.
I'm sorry. No, don't leave.
As ever, the Conqueror of Demons comes and goes, just like the wind.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
The illuminated bird.
Now she has the gall to use it rather than she.
Yeah, that is
Even
pretty
after being
rude.
chastised
Paimon, that was
once,
rude.
One has received your message from Ganyu. On the matter of the Adeptus you seek, one suspects to know their identity.
Oh.
Well, shall one lead the way?
Yes, please.
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night.
All right.
Is this Guili Plains? Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong.
Ah.
But have you ever heard of her?
Definitely from Zhongli.
Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extroverted in nature and adored social gatherings and inventions alike. Long ago, this region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit her home, reserving for us seats around the largest stone table. Sea Gazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart. Though usually a mild-mannered fellow, when it came to those collectibles he was so fond of, he always loved to show them off.
Paimon remembers that name. So that's what Sea Gazer was like.
Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor one was content to let him just steal the spotlight. So we would then also present our proudest mechanical creations. As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments in our respective fields of expertise. As a result, one often quarreled with Sea Gazer. His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them
Someone's
out of the
angry.
ground.
Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode.
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping. You probably know her as Madam Ping.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a lovely story and everything, but didn't we come here to find that Adeptus from Mr. Dvorak's story? Or are you saying that it was Guizhong?
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precisely that reason. The sights here are a reminder of a time long gone, and evoke much sorrow. One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning with your incessant questioning. No matter, one will share the whole story with you now. In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Gui Zhang's Obscuro Vopus mechanism was superior.
Ah, the Guizhong Ballista.
Though one was too proud to acknowledge it, in one's heart, one knew that Gui Zhang was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Gui Zhang and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Gui Zhang's opinion, while mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili Plains. Gui Zhang was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetward Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetward Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No. It's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
Once upon a time, Streetward Rambler also loved gatherings, liquor, and music. But after Gui Zhang passed, she preferred her own company. She could often be found sitting alone at a mountain summit, contemplating and reminiscing with her zither. The music would go from mournful to soothing to impassioned. Many years passed before she finally composed a melody to her satisfaction. Which brings one back to the matter you've been investigating. Perhaps it was during that performance that the ancestor of your Fontaine friend fell into the water.
But if she was so happy with the melody, why would she only play it once?
One was also greatly perplexed by this. After suppressing one's curiosity for a long while, one finally approached her and asked why she would retire the tune after having spent so long on it. In response, she said, "Though the strings that played that melody survive, the one who inspired it is gone. Tell me, Cloud Retainer, when the one attuned to my soul is no longer here, who else could hope to understand this tune?"
Aw, poor Madame Ping.
I just remember being taken care of by you when I was young. Once the Archon War came to an end, I stayed behind in Liyue Harbor to honor my contract. Although I met Gui Zhang a few times, I never knew anything of this particular story.
Gui Zhang was quite the visionary, but tragically passed before her time.
Cloud Retainer informed us that the one who played that melody and rescued the drowning man was none other than yourself.
Ah, let me think. Yes, I do believe I recall that encounter. What a long time ago that was. I'm surprised that you still remember it. Even more astonishing, perhaps, is the fact that this story has survived this long at all. It appears that she has proven herself right once again. We like to call her Gui Zhang. From the look in Cloud Retainer's eyes, I sense that she has already told you all about her. Once upon a time, she said to me that humans were a weak form of life that she wished to protect with her wisdom. But as she interacted more and more with them, her opinions on them began to change. She marveled at the beautiful complexity of their spirits, the sheer splendor of all they could accomplish through their hard work and intelligence. She told us that to underestimate human potential would be to make a grave mistake. With the smallest amount of guidance, enormous power can be unleashed in them, and a human who has reached their full potential may well be her equal.
What was the melody that you played back then? Oh, also, with you being such a music expert and all, why don't you join the concert as a performer?
Bruh.
I can make arrangements right away.
Oh, as much as I don't wish to dampen your enthusiasm, it's been a long time since I played this zither, and whenever I play that tune, it always reminds me of her. I shall leave the Lantern Rite stage to the youth of today.
Well, if you're sure.
I see. So the melody my ancestor heard was an adeptus remembering her late friend? That certainly explains why it was such a powerful and poignant tune.
Huh. That's a really interesting first reaction.
I have to say, though, it's hard to believe that the fairy from the tale is now an elderly granny.
Oh! Paimon sees them! It's illuminated deer! And illuminated bird number
2! A familiar face. Have you come from Liyue Harbor? How is the city nowadays?
Everything's great! But you know, if you're so curious, you can always go and check it out for yourself.
In fact, Mooncarver has been taking many walks on Mount Tianheng in recent times. I believe the sights of the city are quite familiar to him.
Zhongli! Here you are! We've brought the bamboo shoots you wanted.
Yeah, it only took
Impeccable
5 days anyway.
Oh, Zhongli! Huta told us to tell you something. She said, it's up to him whether he wants to support us at the performance tonight, but I expect him to make time for the upcoming banquet we're planning. No excuses.
I like Paimon's amazing impression of that.
Festival. As for the banquet, she didn't tell us anything more about that, but she invited us to come as well.
As you can see, I have a prior engagement with 2 Adepti friends of mine tonight. Please, give Director Hu my best wishes for the performance. As for the banquet, since the director insists, far be it from a mere consultant like myself to refuse.
Yay!
Is it the show? It is.
I'm honored to be here on the Iridescence Tour stage. All right, without further ado, I'm Xinyan, this is Hutao, and this is a little something called...
The Flame Lilies!
I'm up here blazing trails through the midnight sky, lighting up the world below. And when the crowds all hear my voice, they'll meet the spirit of rock and roll.
Let's go! Hey, you butterfly, you too buzzing by, guiding your way to the afterlife, opening the path without a fright. Oh! I'll light the fire, watch it blaze across the universe. I'll spit my rhymes, watch you set, or you'll get burned. Hey! Woo!
Yeah!
Does anyone have any plans tomorrow? With another year behind us, I think we deserve a celebration of our own.
Yes.
A treat. Interested?
The Tianquan footing the bill? I can't miss out on that.
What the? Baiju. Yay! He's not here to celebrate. He's just busy doing work, and it's making me sad. Why didn't we get to celebrate Lantern Rite with Chow? What happened to that?
Master, listen!
May the year ahead be a blessed one.
I believe it shall be.
Master, the Shao Lanterns,
Elementary. One shall fashion for you a Shao Lantern the likes of which the world has never seen. And you must take it to Liyue Harbor to display its magnificence for all.
So competitive.
Listen, that must be Madame Ping!
Oh!
There's so many people here! All we knew was that hotel invited Zhongli over. Paimon never thought we'd be meeting so many old friends! Happy Lantern Rite, everyone!
Likewise. Please take a seat.
Ta-da! We're here!
Where?
We're not late to the party, right?
Who's the other person?
Good thing the Conqueror of Demons and I are both as swift as the wind.
Yay!
Just in time.
Yay! I don't know how you would possibly know him. What?
Oh, I see. So the important guest is the Conqueror of Demons.
This is awkward.
The director didn't mention anything when she invited us. What a pleasant surprise.
Especially
Gathered
between
here with
Zhongli
us
and
tonight
Xiao.
are not only young and accomplished individuals, but also the protector of Liyue's peace, Adeptus Alatus. To convene here with all of you is indeed a great honor.
A few days ago at Wangshu, let's see, how did she possibly convince him to have dinner?
Rex Lapis, may I ask what troubles you?
The director asked me to buy sesame oil in preparation for the celebrations.
Then why would you come all the way to Wangshu Inn?
I had a pleasant chat with Chef Yenshao and received some spices from him. And, see? Here's some matsutake and a portion of ham.
What about the sesame oil?
It's a shame. I couldn't find the kind the director was looking for.
I'm sure you're exaggerating, Zhang... Sir.
There he goes again. Enough with the pleasantries. Go let our guests take a seat.
You should take a seat too, director.
What is going on?
It's
It's starting to feel less like a celebration and more just like a really
Let's not wait any
tense
longer and ask them to bring
dinner.
up the food.
Paimon doesn't know what she should say anymore. Adeptus Xiao, mighty conqueror of demons. Please accept Paimon's greetings too. Belated.
Why are you making him uncomfortable?
Right.
Bladed isn't the right word to use here.
Paimon tried very hard to look for a fancy word, okay? Don't
You don't need to be so polite.
We all worked really hard this year. Whether traveling or guiding, cooking, helping with the family business, and of course, our consultant, who's been helping out at the parlor every now and then. Everyone has done some pretty amazing things. As the one who brought everyone together.
What did
it
you
goes
do?
without
No, I'm
saying that
Paimon thinks it's pretty amazing that she managed to talk Xiao into coming. He rarely ever enters Liyue Harbor after all.
I'm curious how she did it. Was there almond tofu?
It wasn't as complicated as you think.
Conqueror of Demons, Adeptus Shao. Guardian of Wangshu Inn, Hero of Dihua Marsh. I know you're there.
Quiet. Do not disturb the peace.
Sorry, but you wouldn't show up if I didn't yell your name, would you?
I know you. You're the 77th director of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Is there something you need?
Okay.
That does sound like one of Hu Tao's antics.
Did the Conqueror of Demons agree to come so that Hu Tao would stop pestering him?
You seem pretty quiet today. Is everything okay?
I'm doing fine. Not long ago, before Lantern Rite, I met an old friend. Thanks to his help, things have been a lot more stable than before. You should know him. He's...
You finally let me in. Hello, hello. No matter if we've met before.
Yay!
This moment marks a brand new encounter.
Wow, this is
Old
weird. We have
friends
Venti
and
and Zhongli.
Happy Lantern Rite.
Okay, well now things are better. Just because Venti's here. Now it's not so freaking awkward.
Oh, he seems to carry a valiant breeze wherever he goes.
I wonder why.
It's you.
Oh, isn't this Genu?
Genu?
Oh no, he's gonna give away Shincho's pen name away.
Yep. Now that I've taken a closer look, you're a fan of Genu's work, aren't you?
Oh my god.
I met Singcho at a light novel convention. How I wish we'd met sooner.
Could this new guest be Master Singcho's friend?
Yeah, he's my old pal too. Looks like Xiao knows him too. And also, you maybe remember him, you know.
Yeah. Xiao, you remember me too, right? We had a chat not long ago.
Yes, yes. Monsters become more active than
Good
usual.
God,
as
we
get closer
all
to
know
Lantern
each
Rite. I was
other.
patrolling Dihua
We're
Marsh
pretending
2
like
days
we
ago.
don't.
You've already forgotten? I'm a bard, remember? And bards go around singing wherever they like.
Oh, right. And this bard was performing in Dihua Marsh. It was a moving melody. And it made me feel relaxed and at ease. I couldn't help but stay and listen.
Right, that's totally like you, Xiao. So that's how it was, I see.
I understand now too. I'm Zhongli, currently working at the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. It's a pleasure to meet you, new friend.
And I'm his boss. And if there's anything unsatisfactory, let me know anytime.
This is so
That's very
strange and uncomfortable.
His knowledge extends across the stars and the land. From the sophisticated way he speaks, it's hard not to suspect that he could very well be an Adeptus in disguise. Xiao, you're an Adeptus. Do you think it might be possible?
What the hell is happening?
Sorry. I'm only good at conquering demons. I'm afraid I don't have much knowledge in that matter.
What the hell is this weird interrogation?
Paimon thinks you're super knowledgeable.
Paimon, play along.
Huh? Oh, right. Xiao's a warrior. He doesn't come to the city very often, so it's pretty normal for him to not know anything. Yeah.
Really? I've actually heard a few things about Mr. Zhongli before.
Venti,
The
shut
guests in
up!
the tavern talked about this refined and courteous man who, instead of getting wine at
Zhongli's like, what the hell is going on?
hot tea with the most complex name.
Now that you mention it, I seem to recall that there indeed is a musician like yourself in Mondstadt. I've heard that he's elegant and amiable. His
Bro!
witty and vibrant.
You guys!
It's no overstatement to regard him as the best bard in Mondstadt.
Now you're making me embarrassed.
Are you here to take part in Lantern Rite too?
I heard that Liua will be hosting a Lantern Rite music festival this year.
You missed
As a
it.
musician myself, how could I possibly resist the temptation to come take a look? Getting to know other musical styles is essential to sparking inspiration, don't you think?
But the musical festival wasn't planned beforehand. Venti, you're giving yourself away!
As for the Fontaine friend who hosted the festival, I saw him near Stone Gate the other day. The Iridescence tour has finally been held successfully for once, so I had to congratulate him. By the way, I was watching as you entered Shinyue Kiosk.
but no one seemed to notice me. Should I say that it's because I'm an expert in hiding, or that a certain someone deliberately ignored the sound of the wind?
Whenever Lantern Rite comes around, Liyue Harbor becomes bustling with activity. People are all busy watching the lanterns and strolling around.
Oh, I'm so distracted. I couldn't feel the wind.
In a moment like this, I propose we raise a glass together. In my case,
I'm gonna
tea
change
in
the
lieu of
subject.
wine.
What's with the urgency?
Are you done eating? Want to head out for a walk?
Sure.
Have you two finished eating? It's always
Yeah, we're
nice
going
to
on
have
a little
breath
date.
of fresh air.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come too.
No, you're still hungry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just between the two of us.
Are you all right?
I should be the one asking you that.
It's hard to describe.
Unfamiliar with gatherings like this? Honestly, same. And after seeing that, I think I'm even more unfamiliar with gatherings.
It's not that. There were those among the Adepti who loved gatherings and idle chit-chat. Sometimes they would call up a few others for a drink. Even I got dragged along to their gatherings many times. The Adepti all have their specialties, making most of them proud and arrogant. Everything they say is straight from the heart. It never gets too complicated. But this time...
I understand. It's all Zhongli's fault, or I understand it's all Venti's fault. Venti kinda...
No. I didn't mean that. So you know his true identity. I'll get straight to the point then. The Animo Archon is a free spirit, and his temperament is as carefree as the music he plays on the flute. It's easy for a god like him to live in harmony with humans, and that's something I might never be able to do.
You don't have to be like them. You do you.
That does sound like something you would say. No matter. I know my circumstances. Whenever I think of the ordinary conversations I've had with you, it feels strangely novel.
Strange in a good way?
Yes. The parlor director went out of her way with the invitation, so it was difficult to turn her down. I had made mental preparations before agreeing to come. She told me that all the guests today would be acquainted with elemental power, and I knew that you would be here. But I didn't expect the other guests to be...
No one would have guessed.
General Capisis always said that we should live in the present and enjoy every pleasant surprise. Perhaps that's what I should do with what I'm feeling now. But I think he meant designing clothes for those around him.
Oh, here you are.
Hey.
I'm not intruding, right?
You're not. What is it?
Hu Tao saw that everyone's done eating and asked the staff to bring out the desserts. Paimon got so anxious that you weren't back yet that she scarfed down her dessert without the usual slurping and munching.
I think this festive gathering deserves something ceremonious.
Oh? Is this some local custom?
Nope. This is something I made up so that good luck will be on our side. That's all. Spontaneity is the best choice to make here. Let's use this incense burner on the table. It's been lit for so long now that the incense is running out. I'll leave refilling and lighting the incense to the most distinguished guest among us all. Lighting the incense will signify continuous growth and prosperity in all our endeavors in the new year.
I see. Perfect symbolism, as expected of Hu Tao. And speaking of the most distinguished guest here today, I'm sure we all agree that it's Mr. Zhongli. I'm not very familiar with the details of his past deeds, but
shut the hell up!
him has been a real eye-opener, even for a bard.
What the
If knowledge were a form of power, one could even say that you're a wielder of unlimited strength.
But when it comes to having a way with words, the notable bard is certainly one cut above the rest. I just happen to have a good memory. It is such an unexceptional skill, yet you made it sound like an unparalleled talent. I am truly impressed. Since we all get to nominate someone, I think it's only fair that we let the parlor director light the incense.
Huh? That won't do. Don't flatter me just because I'm your boss. We are looking for the most distinguished guest here. As the host, I shouldn't be involved in this discussion at all. Now that we've enjoyed this table full of delicacies, how about we let our one and only chef here do the honors?
I'm okay with that.
Is this really the way this works?
It's not a big deal. Just look at her. Xiangling, the disciple of an adeptus, the stove god's best companion, the winner of the masterful chef's competition.
What the hell? Why did they clap and sing?
Famous One Mean restaurant. A good old friend of mine. There's no better choice.
If we're looking for a distinguished guest, surely the second son of the Faerun Commerce Guild counts. It's one of the largest guilds in
Everyone, stop!
That choice. With the Commerce
Guys,
Guild's young master
stop.
That's not how it works. Making a fortune is
I hate
indeed a
this.
fine wish, but it's of lesser importance than good health and happiness, which means we should choose Chongyun, the skilled exorcist who keeps everyone's home safe from evil spirits.
Now you're nominating me? I can't be the one when we have the Conqueror of Demons right here. Adeptus Xiao has the most seniority among everyone here today.
Zhongli.
I refuse. I am most certainly not the most distinguished guest here.
Is he gonna say
You should all
Zhongli?
be able to make the right judgment based on your observations.
Wait,
One
no.
person here is well acquainted with everyone else.
Why are they all looking at me like that?
Oh, that's right. Even though you're always mocking Paimon, you're still pretty popular with other people. No, wait.
So I'm winning because it's a
said she would
popularity
cut me
contest?
again.
I'm not the only well-connected person here, though.
Who else is there?
You, of course.
Huh? Huh? Does that mean Paimon's the most distinguished guest?
Congratulations, Paimon!
Without a friend constantly by your side, a long journey would become dreadfully lonesome.
That's
But
true.
once you have someone there to brighten up the atmosphere, everything along the way will become lively and vibrant too.
Ah, the traveler has traversed many nations and left behind a great deal of fascinating stories. But without Paimon, they would have become quite monotonous. Paimon plays an indispensable role in making your journey a happy and smooth one.
Paimon gets a happy moment for once. Clumsily lights the incense.
Bye. Oh, we should write poetry together sometime. We'll catch you all later then.
Bye-bye.
Well then,
Rex Lapis.
just Zhongli will do. I live as a mortal in Liu Harbor now. I am just one among many who begin work at sunrise and retire to rest at sundown. If we were to consider status and seniority as Zhongli, I should be respectfully referring to you as Adeptus Xiao.
Heaven forbid.
I meant what I said. I heard that during the Lantern Rite Music Festival, you conferred with Streetward Rambler and Cloud Retainer. The same truth will sound different coming from different people. As more bear witness to a story, feelings and interpretations expand in variety too. In the legends recorded by humans, some gods were depicted as arrogant and condescending, while others were kind and capable. But whether to me, Streetward Rambler, Cloud Retainer, or younger adepti such as Xiao and Ganyu, those adepti and gods that may seem extraordinary to humans, are something more akin to close companions. This was as true back then as it is right now. Just how Xiao may seem unapproachable to most, but the Traveler has proved otherwise. So there's no need to dwell too much on certain things.
Zhongli, what you're saying is...
It looks like you understood what I meant. Goodbye for now.
The events of today occurred so abruptly. I appreciate your kindness.
The feeling's mutual. You don't have to thank me every time.
Okay. I'll see you next time then.
Well, that concludes the Lantern Rite. That got real strange by the end. But it was a very sweet quest. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.